One Piece has one of the best written and one of the most loved stories of all time, but it gets a lot of hate because of the pacing of both its anime and the manga. And that is exactly why I'm going to be solving that problem completely by explaining to you guys the entire story of One Piece in under 10 minutes, hopefully. From starting in a barrel all the way to becoming a god, this is the story of one of the best animes ever made. Hello there goofballs, it is me your classic Indian scammer, and today we are going to be talking about the entire story of One Piece and going over all the major events that happened in the anime. But a little disclaimer, I will be skipping all the boring filler parts like the Foxy stuff and any other arc which wasn't that fun to watch or just didn't have much impact, like Dressrosa. Also, I won't be going over them with the exact episode number. Instead, I will just narrate and explain all the events because you didn't come here to know everything about the episodes and chapters and whatever all those numbers. And if you did, well, boo-hoo, I'm sorry, I'm too lazy to do any of that. But anyways, without wasting any more time, let's begin. The story begins when we see a barrel just floating through the water, and from inside pops out the magical child of plot armor itself, the future pirate king, Monkey D. Luffy. There, he gets on a pirate ship and beats the fuck out of their captain, makes friends with another child of destiny and the future marine admiral, Kobe, and then they make their way to the infamous bounty hunter, Roronoa Zoro. After helping him, Zoro joins Luffy's crew and declares that he's going to be the greatest swordsman on the planet. Then they meet one of the worst, and yes, I don't mean this as a satirical joke, one of the worst characters ever, Buggy the Clown. I fucking hate this guy, but that's not the point of today's video. Boom bam pow, normal bullshit, and we see one of the greatest and most loyal good boys ever, and Luffy meets his future crewmate and lesbian cat burglar Nami. She joins them temporarily and they make their way to Baratie, where they meet the future cook and a very loyal guy in their crew, Blackleg Sanji. There we understand that Sanji was actually saved by the cannibal owner Zeph, who saved him by eating his own leg, and Sanji decided that he was always going to serve him, but not in a slave way, in more like a son but not son way. Then they get attacked by this dumb pirate who thinks he is good but actually isn't, and then we see the first instance of God Luffy, that is plot armor, and he beats Dawn Creek guy easily. Right then the strongest swordsman in the world appears, who Zoro challenges and gets humiliated by a fucking baby knife. Despite the humiliation, Zoro thinks that he still has some pride left, so he makes a promise to Luffy that he will never lose again. Sanji has some existential crisis, but in the end, like no one else had ever seen it coming, decides to join Luffy and Luffy's crew, which is also known as the Straw Hat Pirate now because of the straw hat Luffy got from Shanks. Oh yeah, also backstories. Well, none of the backstories are really important except for Chopper's, which is literally the best backstory in the entire anime. Fuck you, Kuma lovers. You should fuck yourself now. Also, before picking up Sanji, they also go to the Syrup Village and pick up the sharpshooter Usopp. That is all you need to know about that arc. That entire fucking arc is bullshit, just like Dressrosa. After Sanji decides to join, boom, their ship gets stolen by none other than the girl who literally got her name from being a thief. Who would have seen that coming? Then they make their way to Nami's hometown, which God knows how they know. And after a little bit of crying and beating some fish people and one of the most badass walks in anime history, as well as one of the best cries for help, Nami officially joins Luffy to never leave again and fulfill a dream of making a map of the world, which hasn't been done in the OP world yet. Oh, and Sanji's dream is to find the All Blue, and Usopp says something like being brave or some shit. I don't know, it doesn't matter. Fuck Usopp, all my homies hate Usopp. From there they get to Whiskey Mid, which is actually a really dumb and boring arc, and skip. One key point is that they meet Vivi in this arc, which is one of the best girls and the princess of Alabasta Kingdom. From there they go to a little garden, which is ironic because it's actually a big garden inhabited by giants. There the crew meets the two giant kings. Also, you dumb fucks, that is not foreshadowing, stop deriding Oda so much. The crew meets Dory and Brookie and after that leave the island. Oh, also somewhere along the way they also meet another future crewmate, Miss All Sunday or Robin for short, who is actually working for a bad but good guy crocodile. The crew reaches Drum Island where Luffy learns about his brother Ace and Nami gets sick. He climbs a huge mountain and gets there to the only one remaining doctor on the island. Also, what the fuck is this, Oda? There is only one fucking doctor on the entire island which lives up here. I mean, Luffy could climb up and all because he is the fucking main character and has plot armor, but what about the civilians? I mean, sure, Dalton exists and all of his fucking, other proper doctors, but we all know that the witch is the only real fucking doctor. Also, okay, fine, even if we agree for that for a minute, what happens after Luffy destroys Dalton and he is forced to leave the fucking island? What then? What about the civilians? Alright, sorry, I went a little ahead in the story. There we meet Chopper, whose dream is to make a medicine that can cure any disease in the world. He got this dream because of the greatest doctor to ever exist, Dr. Hiruluk, who adopted Chopper and gave his life for Chopper. Holy shit, this is literally the best backstory in all of One Piece. After a little bit of crying and other bullshit, Chopper joins the crew and they set out for Alabasta. There, every person has their specific enemies. Zoro learns how to cut steel and Luffy learns how to get wet. Definitely on the same level. And then Robin sort of joins the crew but doesn't really. They also have this really cute moment with Vivi, and we also see one of the best characters in the entire series and the Koichi of One Piece, Bon-chan. God, everyone loves Bon-chan. I love Bon-chan so much. From there, they make their way to the island in the sky, which is also known as Skypia. Wow, what a good name. Almost makes me think it has something to do with the fucking sky. There we have another good backstory, but it isn't really important to the story, so skip. Oh, also there they fight Eminem, whose literal only weakness is rubber, and Luffy is literally a human condom. And I'm still shocked that people say that Luffy does not have plot armor. After coming down, the Water 7 arc starts, where they meet one of the super guys, which is Frankie, and the CP9 or CP0 or whatever guys, and they find the dark truth that White Robin is actually a wanted fugitive and the government wants to kill her. So Luffy does what every sane person should do and wages war against the entire world. During this time, Luffy and Usopp are going through a breakup, and this guy named Sogeking shows up and nope, I am not doing that. It's been like fucking 15 years. The joke runs out, you dumb fucks. So after a grueling battle and Luffy becoming a strawberry flavored condom, he beats the fucking leopard man and has one of the greatest scenes with one of the greatest cries for help. There we also meet the strongest Marine, who is the Vice Admiral, and of course he is Luffy's grandfather, because why wouldn't he be? And we also see that because of fate had chosen itself that Kobe is now being trained under him. Next up, we go to Thriller Bark, where nothing happens. No, like literally nothing happens. The only saving grace of this arc is Zoro's sacrifice, and that's it. This arc fucking sucks. From there, the crew goes to Sabaody, and Luffy does one of the best things he has ever done and punches the fuck out of a human god. But then him and his crew gets destroyed by Kuma, who is actually there to help them and is just a good guy in a bad guy's costume. To be honest, I would insult this guy a lot if he didn't have such a good backstory. But just so you know, his entire plot is bullshit, but he's a cool guy. From there, the entire crew is split up and Zoro goes to train with Mihawk while Luffy goes to Boa's kingdom, which is basically Amazon from DC. And as if no one had predicted, Boa falls in love with Luffy, because of course she does. Although this arc does have one of my favorite episodes, so let's continue. From there, Luffy makes his way to Impel Down to save Ace because he heard the news that Ace is going to be executed. There he finds out that Ace has already been transported, so he makes this great escape and the goat Boa-chan stands by his side. Then Luffy makes his way to Marineford for the greatest battle and then makes friends with Whitebeard, who is actually adopted father of Ace and is there to save him. Boom bam pow, after a very cool war later, Ace dies, which is a very dumb fucking death and is like really forced. Sorry, fucking crucify me, I'm just telling the truth. And because of this dumb idiot and his arrogance, Whitebeard also dies, and while dying he says the One Piece is real. Now, I understand that the impact of this is like really huge, but this is also super fucking dumb. Like, you don't need to say it. Thousands of people believe it is real. This is why the fucking Great Pirate Era started, but whatever. After that, Luffy meets up with the crew after a long 2-year training montage with guess who? That's right, the Pirate King, baby. No, you dumbasses, this isn't Blue Lock. But because he's the main character of Plot Armor Land, it's the right-hand man. And there he also meets Jinbei, who is a future crewmate. Oh, and I completely forgot, the only thing mattering in Thriller Bark, except for, you know, the Zoro thing, is that Brook joins the crew, one of my favorite characters ever. After 2 years, Luffy meets up with the gang and Zoro kills some pirates for no fucking reason, but hey, go Zoro. Then they set out to the worst arc in the story after Dressrosa and go to Mermaid Land. And the only good thing about this arc is the mermaids, but they are wearing brass, god damn it. After a very cool show of Conqueror Saki, which of course Luffy got, they go to Punk Hazard. Now, I know I've been calling Dressrosa the worst arc, but that's a joke. The truth is, I have skipped the entirety of Dressrosa and Punk Hazard, but don't worry, I have done my due diligence and I know everything about these arcs. And before you start complaining that I skipped one of the best arcs ever, I know everything that happens and I don't care. At Punk Hazard, they are making this artificial devil fruits known as Smile. Write this down, this will be important later. The crew meets Momo and Kin, who are from Wano. Also write this down for later. And then beat up Caesar, who made these Smile fruits. Luffy also forms an alliance with Lawyer, who is another pirate from the worst generation. From there, they go to Dressrosa, the place owned and controlled by Doflamingo, who I used to think was the best antagonist in One Piece until I realized that he's a fucking rapist. And hey, it might be a hot take, but personally, I think rapists and rape are super bad. Anyways, there Luffy meets his another older brother, Sabo, and cries because he thought Sabo was dead, as we saw in the backstory. Oh yeah, also this backstory was shown after Ace's death, which is pretty dumb because it was Ace's backstory. So it would have been much more impactful the other way around. But hey, what do I know about story writing? Anyways, he meets Sabo, says bye, and moves on to kicking Doffy's ass. After having a huge island-shattering battle, Luffy becomes the fucking cum-filled condom that he is and beats Doffy's ass. Now, why does Law want to kill Doffy so bad, you ask? Because Doffy killed Law's father figure, who is also Doffy's brother. And Doffy was a celestial dragon first, but isn't anymore. That's why he became a maniac, killing his own father and his brother. From there, they go to Whole Cake, where Sanji's father, who came out of nowhere, has now arranged his marriage with Pudding, Big Mom's daughter, and the crew plans on destroying it. But the only person who was capable enough to destroy it was Brook, the fucking MVP of Whole Cake, and after some very sweet bonding, Sanji joins the crew again, and thank God Zoro wasn't here. They also go to Zunisha, which is kind of pointless except for the rise of Dono is safe, which is literally one of the greatest episodes I have ever seen in any fiction. The crew finally gets to Wano to kill Orochi, who is just downright a piece of shit, and I hate him, and Kaido, who I also hate because of just how fucking lame he is. Basically, Momo was supposed to be the next king, but Kaido took over and killed one of the greatest men to ever exist, Oden, and also one of the greatest fathers to ever exist, Yasui. God, I used to think he's such a big clown, but after understanding that he ate the smile fruit, knowing very well what it is, just because his daughter ate it, that makes me fucking sad. His death is definitely one of the saddest scenes ever, although the saddest is definitely Hiruluk and the second saddest is Oden. After that, Jinbei joins the crew in one of the best episodes in One Piece ever, and the crew and the gang attacks Onigashima. After a huge and hype and very fucking slow battle, Luffy unlocks his peak, which is Gear 5, and becomes this ultimate rubber human, which is I guess just a fucking dotted, and defeats Kaido in the worst and most boring way, and boom, Kaido and Big Mom burn to death. Hopefully, because you know how it goes in One Piece. Then Green Bull attacks, who is one of the admirals, and for some fucking reason Shanks shows up after everything is over and flexes his strongest conqueror Saki and humiliates him. After that, Yamato doesn't join the crew and the crew leaves for Egghead, and that is all that I have read. I have dropped the manga after getting to the Rob Lucci updated version and stopped right there. I will read it, I will catch up and continue this next time in the next video, whichever I do. But that is the entire story of One Piece explained in under 20 minutes, I hope. I'm sure you guys enjoyed it and are dying to like and subscribe. Well, I give you permission. Like, share and subscribe and become a member. That is all that I have for today. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to give the video a like, maybe even subscribe if you're brand new. That was me explaining the entirety of One Piece, so you won't have to waste, let's see, 366 hours of your life. Jeez, that's how long it takes. Now I feel shit for watching One Piece. But well, that is really all. 1K likes and I will do a complete uncensored review of everyone's favorite family-friendly anime Overflow. And subscribe if you enjoyed. However, let's subscribe to the official One Piece English channel. Subscribe right now and let's crush them. If you enjoyed the video and want to help me out, drop a comment down below. It really helps boost the video in the algorithm. People think it doesn't, but it really does work. So let me know in the comments what your favorite One Piece character is. Thank you so much for watching it so far. It means the world to me. What happens when all you want to do is have a nice day in Minecraft and beat the game, but there is a bloodthirsty chat who will do literally anything to kill you? Well, click here and find out. And also, if you want to watch me rant about some other anime or manga or other stuff, then click here. That is all. Level up quick and don't be a dick. See you next time.